Welcome back to the CryptoWorld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, a new signal just confirmed on the daily Bitcoin chart, while Ethereum is still running into short-term resistance, which I'll talk about later in the video, so definitely stick around. First of all, just quickly letting you know that nothing has really changed here on the 4-day time frame in the super trend indicator for the price of Bitcoin. And so if you're new to this channel and you want to know more about this chart and this indicator on the larger time frames, then check out my last video on this channel. But what we have seen over the last 1 day is a new bullish cross in the daily Bitcoin MACD, which has now been confirmed with one daily candle close. And so technically speaking, this is a bullish signal on the daily time frame, pointing towards perhaps a little bit more bullish momentum coming into play. But with that being said, as of right now, we're still seeing relatively low momentum in the MACD indicator. If you're looking at the histogram, this is relatively flat compared to some of these previous movements, which means right now, even though we have just confirmed a bullish cross in this indicator, we don't necessarily have a lot of bullish momentum or bearish momentum. So basically, right now, this is looking very neutral, at least in the somewhat shorter term here. So obviously, this is why we have been seeing a lot of choppy sideways price action as of recent, rather than significant moves up or down. And at least based on the daily Bitcoin price oscillators, this is likely going to continue for a little while longer, at least the next few days, possibly a couple of weeks. Basically seeing this type of price action that we have been seeing over the last 1 month or so. Very neutral price action, not necessarily overly bullish or overly bearish. And now, obviously, I'll start to flip much more bullish or bearish if we see some other confirmation signals, like a confirmed break below this support or above this resistance, for example. Obviously, if we see a confirmed break below this support in between 24.3k to 25.3k, then in that case, I'd flip much more bearish again on the larger trend at play. But on the flip side, if we see a confirmed breakout above this descending line of resistance sitting at approximately 27,000 right now, then in that case, I'd start to flip much more bullish again in terms of the shorter term trend, because obviously as of recent, we have been in more of a short term bearish trend that is technically within this larger bullish trend. And now if you're zooming into the slightly shorter term, looking at the 8-hour Bitcoin chart, obviously over the last few days, we have seen a shorter term bullish divergence play out on this chart, because we have confirmed lower lows in the price of Bitcoin in the candle closes and higher lows in the Bitcoin RSI on the 8-hour time frame, which once again means that we're due to see reduced bearish momentum in the imminent short term, which usually plays out in the form of either choppy sideways price action or a slight bullish recovery in the imminent shorter term. And now obviously over the last few days, we have seen a lot more bullish price action rather than just neutral price action in the shorter term. So I would not actually be surprised if we do see a bit of a mean reversion and actually play out some more choppy sideways price action, which would obviously contain both some bullish price action and some bearish price action, now that we already have seen a lot of bullish price action over the last 2 days or so. And so this could potentially be a perfect opportunity for something like a grid bot, which takes advantage of a lot of choppy sideways price action. Basically, when we don't really have a clear, significant trend and we're seeing a lot of this type of price action, something along the lines of a grid bot strategy can actually make quite a lot of profit during this type of price action. And now, just before getting into the Ethereum part of this video, I'll quickly mention that currently Pionex is running a massive giveaway where you can actually win up to 10,000 USDT bonuses. And this is, of course, a limited time thing. It is one of their anniversary giveaways, lasts for the next 2 weeks approximately. And so if you're trading anyway, you might as well check this out, because you could potentially win some free money. And I'll leave a link to this and some details about this in the description down below and in the pinned comment. So check that out if you want to. But anyway, now getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the daily ETH to US dollar chart. And right now, the price of ETH is continuing with this shorter term bounce from this important area of support sitting in in between around 1650 to 1.7k. But obviously over the last 1 day, we have seen a small rejection from this important area of resistance, which was previous supports back here, sitting in between around 1770 to 1820. So keep that in mind. We do have resistance in that area where we could see a bit of struggle at. And as for the daily Ethereum price oscillators, first of all, looking at the daily Ethereum MACD, this is currently moving towards a possible bullish cross, but at least as of right now, we are not there just yet. So technically, this is looking slightly bearish, although we're still seeing very low momentum. And so at least in terms of the momentum, we're looking relatively neutral at the moment. And obviously, if you're looking at the daily Ethereum RSI, this has recently bounced from oversold territories, as I've said over the last few days, basically saying that this usually happens around the time where we see a low in the price of ETH. So basically, due to this signal obviously already flashed and confirmed over the last few days, we were of course likely to see this short-term bounce and potentially continue this bounce, or at the very least now play out more of a sideways consolidation, essentially a pause now from this bearish price action that we've seen over the last few weeks or so. And now if you're zooming into the shorter term, this is on the 6-hour ETH to US dollar chart, and obviously over the last 1 day or so, we have seen pretty much a perfect rejection from this important area of resistance in the short term, which is sitting in between around 1750 to 1780. So we also need to keep this in mind as well, basically meaning the price could either struggle in this area or see rejections from this area in the imminent short term, like what we've seen over the last 1 day, which once again in the shorter term can result in potentially some choppy sideways price action, kind of like what we saw back here, where the price is running into resistance, and oftentimes we see multiple attempts before either a further rejection or a possible breakout above the resistance. But until then, in the imminent short term, we usually see a lot of choppy sideways price action. Once again, perfect for something like a grid bot rather than a long position or a short position, for example. And now if we did end up seeing a confirmed breakout above this short-term resistance and also above this area of resistance on the daily time frame, then in that case, the next area of resistance that I'll be watching here in the shorter term is basically these previous highs, which is a price range in between around 1.9k to 1930. And as for support, once again, this area of support has not changed over the last 1 day. And now if you want to know how to make a lot of money in crypto, no matter if the price is going to the upside, to the downside, or simply chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how to make money no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or neutral, and the video in the bottom left explains that grid bot strategy that I mentioned earlier in the video. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.